Humans have the access to rights all around the world, but have you ever wondered about the rights of non-human entities? Well, according to some experts, granting legal rights and protection to animals, trees and rivers is essential if countries want to tackle the climate breakdown and biodiversity loss. The authors of a report titled Law in the Emerging Bio-Age say legal frameworks have a key part to play in governing human interactions with the environment and biotechnology. The report, which was published on the Law Society, the professional body for solicitors in England and Wales, exploring how the relationship between humans and Mother Earth might be recalibrated in the future. Some nations like Ecuador and Bolivia have already enshrined rights for the natural world, while there is a campaign to make ecocide a prosecutable offence at the International Criminal Court. Moreover, in Spain, the endangered Mar Menor lagoon has been granted legal status as a person, meaning the legislation recognizes the lagoon's right to protection, conservation and restoration. On the other hand, the authors of the report outlined how widespread adoption of rights for non-human life forms would radically change the legal and ethical balance between humans and living systems. Moreover, the report asserted that giving rights to the non-human entities would raise necessary questions regarding the liability for environmental damage as well as compensation for the damage caused. While it also discussed how our understanding of biotechnology continues to evolve, development in biotechnology also poses questions about the ethics of bringing back species from extinction or eradicating the existing ones. And this comes as scientists are exploring reintroducing woolly mammoths. And on the other hand, there has been discussion regarding discussions about the wiping out of mosquitoes, which carry malaria and other diseases. For more on this, joining us on the broadcast is one of the co-authors of that report, Dr. Wendy Schultz from Oxford in the UK. Good to have you on the broadcast here. Let me begin by asking you to inform our viewers about the importance of these legal rights for these non-human entities.
First of all, thank you for asking me to join you. It's a pleasure to be here. And I think you've hit on what is really important about this research project, which we did for the Law Society UK, which is a membership organization of legal professionals. And what they were concerned about was how the law profession itself could start working more proactively to ensure that not only are we protecting the rest of the web of life, the animals we share the planet with, the plant life we share the planet with, our very ecologies, but that we were also working to embed ourselves more deeply in that and to think through ethical, moral implications for granting other species, other life forms, equal rights, and to also think through the repercussions that that has for economic system and the rights that we grant people to use various resources. So there's a great potential here for a massive transformation in how we interact with all the living creatures around us, and in fact, the rest of the planet, the rest of the ecology in which we're embedded. So it's a question that reverberates down to the level of contractual law about how farming is done or how mining is done, and all the way up to more cutting edge regulatory questions about how we do gene engineering, and the fact that, for example, gene engineering kits are now commercially available. And in fact, just as high school and college students have competitions for designing robots, there is MIT's iGEM competition for designing new life forms. So this is really the beginning of a new age of interaction with the biological systems around us.
A new age interaction indeed. Let's also talk about if this was to happen, how exactly would this transpire and what would the immediate challenges be?
Sorry, if legal rights were granted.
Yes, if that was to happen, what do you think would be the procedure as far as granting those legal rights is concerned and getting everybody on the table regarding these rights? And what would the immediate challenges be then?
You're asking challenging questions. So first of all, one of the issues that we have is that how we view animals, how we view other life forms is culturally dependent, right? So how animals are thought of in the Indian culture is very different from how they are thought of in French culture or how they are thought of in the culture of the United States. And so every nation is going to have to be wrestling with the laws and regulations of its own society, of its own nation first, and have those ethical and moral discussions about what they want to enshrine in law and put in place in regulations, which will have impacts again on the economic system. They will all have to do that within their own countries. Having said that, there is also an international movement, of course, to enshrine the rights of Mother Earth and the rights of system and the rights of living systems of different life forms, of animals, plants, as an international agreement. But that is going to take a very long time, as any international agreement does. The first step is often, at least here in the UK, in the US, often happens at community level, where communities get together and take a different approach to the living systems around them, that activists start petitioning politicians to create new laws, to create new regulations. So this is not something the legal profession can impose on the world, but that citizens everywhere can ask of their leaders, that we take a new stance, a new perspective on the living systems in which we are embedded, of which we are a part, and grant them more respect, essentially, and also take more accountability and responsibility for the everyday decisions we make and for the decisions that our major organizations, corporations, and government entities take that have a big impact on ecosystems.
All right, we're leaving it there for the moment, but thanks very much for being here.
Thank you for asking me.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.